just like DJ Khaled would say, another one.
Another one, Tom. Another wonderful bonus episode for the Tom and Jerry Show, where we go and talk to some of our friends about their worst gig ever. And you know what, Tom? It's been a while since we've heard about a comedian's worst gig ever, so let's cycle back to one of our pals. What do you think?
Let's do it. He's a joy to be with. He's even funnier when he's telling you about horror stories. Oh, I enjoyed this one, Jerry. Tell him who it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and listen to the wonderful Nordy tones. Even Nordier than me, I'll tell you that much. I sound like Tom compared to this guy. All right? The wonderful Nordy tones telling us horror stories. Give it up for Mr. Micky Bartlett.
Well, we're delighted. Micky Bartlett, the one and only, has joined us. How are you keeping, Mick?
I'm not too, as usual, a bit hungover.
Classic.
I am. The self-catering hotels have opened in the north, so I took myself off for a Bridget Jones night last night. Bought myself a steak and a bottle of wine, a couple of beers, and sat in the hotel room, listening to other people have sex. Like,
you know, Mickey, you present that like you had a fucking terrible night all on your lonesome, and it sounds like absolute fucking heaven to me.
There was a point where I was sitting there going, "Is this the saddest thing I've ever done, or am I a fucking baller?"
I mean. Baller. I'm leaning with baller right now.
I'm leaning with baller. It reminds me, Mickey, honestly, my missus always asks me every year, what would you like for your birthday? And I say, honestly, love, I'll tell you what you get me. Get me a return train ticket to Cork.
just to stay gone for 6 hours. Yeah.
And I'll just get on the train, go down in relative luxury, watch something on my tablet, and come back up. That's it. I won't get off the train. I won't leave the train. I'll just sit there while they hoover around me.
I'm at this stage because I've been locked down with my parents for a year now. So the idea of just sitting there and not have someone go, "What are you doing tonight?" for me to reply, "Nothing. We're in a lockdown."
Yeah.
You're already fucking amping the stress up here, Mick, because you know the premise of this. We've talked about plenty of shitty gigs when you've been on my podcast and whatnot in the past. And the premise of this is because myself and Jerry have done this to death. We pretty much rooted out every bad gig as a cathartic fucking measure that we can possibly do.
Good to get them out there.
We thought no better fella to turn around and ask.
You need to talk about it. You know what I mean? You need.
This is your time to shine, Micky Bartlett. Let's have your worst gig ever, please.
Well, see, it depends on what you want to work on, because I always like to sort of start talking about the worst gig ever by going, I've got about 8 of them, and I'm lucky that the worst death I ever had was way back at the start when I was just dabbling in stand-up.
Okay. So, is this your leather waistcoat years, Mickey?
This is before I even had the waistcoat. This is before I could even afford a waistcoat with a hood on it.
Yeah, I remember the hooded shirt / waistcoat thing.
That was when I went through a phase of not admitting I'd moved from a medium to an extra large, and I was just saying, I was like, no, I'm going to fit back into this t-shirt so the waistcoat will hide the tits. It just accentuated the whole thing. but I had this gig once when I was still at uni. So basically, I'd decided I wanted to do stand-up, went to uni to do drama, to legitimize the fact that I was going to tell my parents I was going to do stand-up at some point, but I didn't have the balls. So I went, well, you know, if I'm doing a degree in performing arts, they'll be like, well, that's part of his learning experience. So I'd done this gig in the Students' Union, and I won an open mic that got me into, as I thought it was a professional competition, but it was just another open mic competition. And no one told me there was a gong. So I ended up really drunk with that. The gong starts going off because I was fucking shit-faced. I didn't know what it was. And instead of being like, oh, that's my time, I was going, I wanted a competition. But the worst one, I was too drunk for that to even register as a death, right? So,
Mickey, before you play on, explain for our non-stand-up listeners, explain to them the Gong Show.
Yeah.
Because we haven't spoken about this so far.
Yeah, well, this wasn't like a sort of comedy store Gong Show. This was just you had 3 minutes or something like that, and they were like, "We'll hit the gong when your time's up."
Yeah,
but nobody told me. So that was just like, I'm just sitting there watching someone go gong gong, and I'm trying to finish a bit while completely potted. But so about 3 weeks later, I ended up we had this like Society of Performing Arts fucking cabaret evening, and I was like, I'm going to do stand up, but I'm going to do new stuff because I went to a small uni, so everyone had already seen my 8 minutes of classics.
Oh yeah,
like 3 weeks before, and I thought I was a genius. So I was like, right, I've got all this new material. I know what I'm going to do. It's going to be great. And I was running the jokes past my mates, and they were going, I don't get it. And I was going, yeah, but when I sell it, when I sell it, you understand, man? I'm just saying it now. I'm not performing it. Whenever I fucking,
yeah.
Once you get the waistcoat on, you see the razzle dazzle.
Yeah. It needs context, guys. Come on.
So, man, it's the worst I've ever felt in my life. Honestly, like my grandmother died pretty suddenly, and this felt worse. So, I'm sitting there getting ready to go, and I had to go on after a girl who sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow, right? Exquisitely, right? I mean, she was nobody knew she could sing. It was like something out of a movie. This woman got up and went, "Oh, I have a bit of a talent. I'm quite nervous about it," and then just blasted out this amazing rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, right? So the whole audience were like, "Oh." Right, I'm standing in the wings, like, fucking wait till they get a load of me. And I don't remember any of the material apart from I had one joke, and I was trying to get a dig in at my flatmate's girlfriend because she just moved into our flat by just osmosis.
Yeah.
She just started living there.
Which does happen.
One sock at a time.
Exactly. And I was trying to do this really fucking, and when I think back on it, it wasn't funny at all, and it wasn't even subtle. But I was trying to, I was just basically calling her a cunt. Without saying it.
You guys don't know Karen, but she's a cunt.
She's a cunt. And I had this joke about like what it's like to see your flatmate's girlfriend walk around in the morning with no bra on, like her nipples were dragging across the floors. And I'm like, I basically say to this room full of people, by the way, she's also got saggy tits. And what an idiot, right? So it's not working at all. I now understand that. I understand why. But as I'm standing there dying on my arse, right? Like I remember hearing my mouth dry up. I heard the. I'm standing there trying, like, thinking something, and the MC had gone off and gotten changed into like a red catsuit and a blonde wig.
Lovely.
He was going to do a Britney Spears sketch, and he literally walked over, didn't say anything, didn't say a fucking thing, but in front of 200 people, just took the microphone out of my hand and went.
Right? Just nodded at you.
Just nodded at, right. So I'm walking off. Do you know that sounded like just my own? I could just hear my feet, like
yeah.
Right. I could hear people cutting. You could feel everyone look at me, and I was just like, I'm fucking so alone. This is awful. This is worse than And I got to like the edge of the room. There was like a set of double doors, and I opened the door. Like I remember like taking one like last look at everybody, being like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah. I got 5 more minutes, guys.
Right. Walked in the room. The double door swung closed behind me, and I just hear bow, 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 and the whole crowd went fucking mental. And I was like, so that's like God. That's the worst that ever hurt, right?
Yeah.
But
you tell you, Mickey, you fucking glanced on one there of the. It's good to talk to another comedian on the show. The sounds you hear when you don't hear laughter.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ!
You said yourself there that you could hear the saliva in your mouth. I mean, the worst I ever got was I died on the laugh lounge. You know that's a pretty big venue.
Yeah.
And I was telling jokes to such silence that I could hear the barman putting ice in the glass.
Oh my God! Yeah.
From 100 meters
at the back of the room.
Yeah.
100 meters away, you can hear ice hitting the glass.
I've heard barmen cut lemons in half. Like, I'm pretty sure I heard a pint settle once. It's the fucking worst. I had a lounge once.
Here's someone turning a beer, man.
I could hear people thinking this isn't very good. Like, I remember once I did a beer ad, and it was for Harp, and I had to stand in the fucking in the ocean in November for pretty much a day, right? And I was doing the lounge the next night, and I didn't realize I completely lost my voice until I got to Dublin, because I was just one of those days you're just by yourself. I just hadn't spoken all day, and I got there, and I was like, I couldn't talk any higher or lower. This was all I could muster.
Oh, you were in paedophile range.
Yeah, fully, dirty phone call range. And I remember saying to Peter, I was being like, I don't think I can go on, and it was too late because I was like, you're here, you're on first, fucking get up there. And I can't even remember what the bit was or what the joke was, but a woman heckled about I think I was doing something about I used to have this really stupid joke of how any city I went to, I would go, you've got some of the best looking people in the world, but your ugly people fucking mean it. Right? this is as a way to, establish myself with the audience.
Yeah.
And as I went, you've got some of the best looking people in the world. A woman heckled, and I was so angry at the fact that she heckled because I couldn't change my pitch.
Yeah.
I just went, not you fat cunt. And that was it. Like, I just stand there.
Not you, you fat cunt.
I just stand there, lip syncing my own fucking material for 500 people on a Thursday night and Friday night. But I think, like, there's been a couple where, I mean, I've had a guy grab me in the toilets and he still had his dick out. I remember, like, he urinal, spun around and grabbed me and went, if you make fun of my niece one more time, I'll fucking kill you. And I remember looking at his cock and it was huge. And I remember thinking,
details.
I hope he just punches me. Because if he hits me with that, I'm dead. Like, I'll never walk again. And I remember, like, I think the worst one though, again, that I go fuck, was I've been doing stand-up about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and I'd been on telly and stuff in the north. So I was having this point where I was like, I think this is going all right. I think I'm pretty good. And I booked into the King Gong at the Comedy Store in London.
Oh Jesus!
With the confidence of a man who was like, I'll get there and I'll win it, right? Like,
I had a similar one to turning up as well that day. Yeah.
Man, I remember saying goodbye to my mum, like, I'll probably not be back. Like I'll get to the airport and they'll have a sign saying Mickey, and I'll be like, I'm here, fellas, don't worry about it. Me and my 7.5 minutes will save comedy. So a friend of mine, Rory Ward, Rory?
Yeah.
So he booked in to do it on the same night. So we were like, right, we'll make a fucking, Monday, Tuesday weekend out of it. We'll fly over, and he had a mate who lived in London. He was like, listen, he's going to let us crash, so we'll see him on cost and stuff. So I'm flying over thinking, all right, I'm going to be famous tomorrow. This is having no idea what the King Gong is. So the King Gong in the Comedy Store is basically the audience have 3 red cards, and their job is to get you off stage within 5 minutes, which is the complete opposite of what stand-up fucking is. Like,
yeah.
So Rory's going on before me, but his name, so he spelled his name in Irish. So the MC brought him on, didn't know how to say that it was Rory.
Of course.
So he's like, Rodri Ward. Rory goes up. I'm kind of half watching Rory and talking to the barman, and the barman's like, I'm like, have you any tips? Oh, fuck, I didn't even tell you this bit. So we get to London, right? I'd never been in London before. I had about 80 quid to my name, which is not enough money for 2 days in London. We're running about trying to get the keys to this flat because the guy's left us the keys at his work, and then we have to run straight to the gig, stuff like that. And we get to the house, and it's a fucking mansion. So I turned to Rory and I'm like, your mate who lives here, like, what the fuck does he do? And Rory's like, oh yeah, he's the bass guitarist for Snow Patrol. And I'm like, of course. Right? So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm probably going to buy it off him next week. So get a quick watch, run down to the gig. Rory's on stage. I'm talking to the barman. I'm like, have you got any tips to get through this? And the guy's like, listen, if you get heckled or anything, just plow on, because like they're aggressive, and it's the second half. They're just going to want to get you off. So Rory lasted 5 minutes, and my arrogant fucking fuckwit head was like, well, I'm better than him. Yeah. So this is going to be a piece of piss, right? So at the time, oh fuck, my opener. It was so hack. My opener at the time was, I would go, my dad always told me doing stand-up's a bit like chatting up a girl, open up with a joke. So here it comes. What's Bruce Lee's favorite drink? Water. Thank you. Right? Then I would go. Yeah. Then I would go, what did Bruce Lee get for Christmas? A toy. And then the next one was like, how does Bruce Lee answer the phone? Hiya! And then I would go, this is where it flips and becomes genius. I would go, what does Bruce Lee eat for his lunch? Sandwiches! Doesn't always work, right? So that was my opener. I didn't even fucking get to Christmas, right? I go, what's Bruce Lee's favorite drink? Water! 1 card, 2 cards. And I hear it happen. And when I saw the second card, I went, what did you just fucking 3 cards? I was off stage within 33 seconds, right? And then I had to go back to fucking Snow Patrol's house and sleep there for 2 days in a bedroom with a gold bath in the middle of it.
what I could have been. I could have been. Was it a baldy fella that was hosting it? Ignorant fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a horrible fucking gig, man.
Mickey, I'll tell you, I've got such fond memories of my early years gigging, particularly anytime yourself was there. I don't remember what I had for fucking lunch today because one day just blends into the next these days. But I remember distinctly seeing you doing that bit in I think it was the Wool Shed up in Dublin one night, and someone beat you to the punch. You said like, "What's Bruce Lee's favorite drink?" And they goes, "Water." Shouted up from the crowd, "Water!" And you go, "No, Fanta, cunt." And that has lasted to this day. Like anytime I'm getting like a fucking at McDonald's or anything like that, and they're like, "What drink would you like?" And I'm always going like, "Fanta, cunt." And I was like, "No, don't say it, because number one, you want Coke, and number two, that's Mickey's bit. Leave him with him." I always thought that was just. I always just thought that was the bit that you're
No, I don't even
laying landmines so you get people to go Fanta. Cunt. I fucking remember that 10 years later, Mickey.
Oh, man,
and Mickey, I say that shit all the time.
I wish I could still take credit for that. I don't remember that at all.
I fucking that stands proud in my memory.
I want to hear Mickey do those couple of bits in the voice where he lost his voice. What does Bruce Lee have for?
I don't know. What does he have?
Like, I don't get this at all. Mickey, that gong show was fucking brutal, man. I'd love to say I never did a gong show in my life. I did one, and I was at stand-up like for fucking 5-6 years, and knew well to stay away from them.
Yeah.
But someone was short a man and said, "Come down and do the gong show," and I was like, "No, you're not going to hold this against me because I know these things are kind of fucking brutal, right?" But there was a lad went on before me, and the audience, God love them, didn't quite understand the concept of the gong show. So they didn't know to hold up their cards. They hadn't read the brief. They were struggling with the concept. And your man was up there pitifully dying. Like, I'm not throwing stones at anyone else. Stand-up's a hard act, but fuck me, this lad was going no place in a hurry. It was absolutely terrible. Everyone was just too nice, didn't want to hold up the cards, and the MC just came up and went, psh, gong. He's like, "Sorry guys, and he turned to the crowd. He's like, "Sorry, I don't think I fully explained the rules to you there, guys."
It's one of those things. Watching someone else die that bad, it's because I think most comedians like watching their mates have a tough gig. You're like,
"Oh yeah."
But when you see somebody really, really eat it, you're like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, God.
I remember seeing a guy one night, and he was one of these like sort of just he'd been doing open mics for about 6 years. He had one 5-minute bit. And everybody knew it. We could all do his bits, and it was he had this look on his face one night of like, "This is the last time if I don't get spotted tonight." Right? And I was out of the corner of my eye. I was like, "Oh, I know what this cunt's thinking. Like this is the make or break. His life's changing tonight, right?" Yeah. And he was one of those guys. He was so bad. Had he wore a cape on stage, people would have thought he was a genius. You know what I mean? He was so bad, you could have been like, dress up and your alternative, and it's amazing.
Is bring a cane. Bring a cane with you. You're going to be elected.
Yeah. Wear 2 monocles. People think you're amazing. And for 5 minutes, there was nothing. I mean, the guy stopped cutting, the pints stopped settling. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and he sat in the corner of the room like that, got up, did his set, and then came back and just sat like that again. And I remember like checking on him for 3 or 4 days to make sure he was still alive. Like, I was fully like, fucking hell. But I've had tons, like, I'm trying to think of we've never, I don't think we've done a gig where we've died together. None of us, we've never really done a really rough one together.
I would say that we went down swinging, Mickey, you and me, in, it was fancy in Belfast. It used to be the Laughter Lounge and stopped being the Laughter Lounge in Belfast and was taken over by, I think, was it yourself and Shane Todd?
It was Shane Todd, it wasn't me.
Yeah. Well, you were there that night, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I died, and I'm not throwing stones, Mickey. Yeah, I think you did too, pal.
Yeah, that was the night. That was like handing out blindfolds because I think Lord of the Dance was on in the arena.
Oh yeah,
and there was nobody there.
Yeah, but remember about halfway through, a bunch of people came in.
And
from
like
Lord of the Dance.
six young lassies came in and walked in and sat fucking right in the middle, just sat like you'd sit on a bus, 2 behind 2.
That was shocking. That was fucking. Oh, I forgot about that one. Oh no.
Do you know, because that's not even you know what, Mickey? There's no story to tell there. We told jokes and nobody laughed. Like that's not a worst gig ever. But traveling to London for 2 days and staying in fucking Snow Patrol's bathroom to get gonged off in 30 seconds.
There's something even like a death at the end.
That's well
of the
up there,
Fringe.
pal.
I remember doing the Edinburgh Fringe one day, and at the time I had this thing where I was walking on from a show, I'd walk on cold, and then introduce my intro music. So I would walk on, and then I would go, right, we're going to play this fucking song. I'm going to come out and go mental. You lose your shit. And that's how we start the show. And as I went out before the music, I was like, this is going to fucking suck. Like, I was walking back behind the curtain, like, nothing's going to happen here. So the music starts playing. I come jumping out, like, fucking pretending to shoot guns in the air and shit like that. And there's like 50 people just like. And I remember thinking, I have enough money in my pocket right now to give you all your money back, and we'll just go home. And then my brain, the Fanta cunt bit of my brain was like, no, keep them here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it got to the point where I was going, I'm not dying, you are. Like,
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Yeah. Yeah, I lasted 2 minutes 15 seconds at the Gong Show, and I was even amazed I got that far, because the lad that ended up winning it had been on before me, and he had this fucking thing down, and it was like this. It was a rap. It was a comedy rap about being on the tube, being it fam, and he spoke like that essentially. You know what I mean? It was, and they were just going, "This is our guy. Shut the fucking show down." This fucking diddly diddly deed comes up on stage going, "Hey, top of the morning," you know, just big fucking spud heading me. And you could see it. I think two had their cards up in like the first 15 seconds. And I fuck this. And there was one girl, genuinely, she was talking with her friend. I think she forgot she had the card. And it was somebody had elbowed her about fucking 2 minutes in and went, oh, sorry, fuck off. And it was like,
But it's weird to me, like the Comedy Store, if you like the weekends on it are amazing, and it's such an international audience, all that sort of stuff. But at the King Gong Show, it's the most local lad wins.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because I think the guy who won the night I was on was just like a skinhead Millwall fan, and had brought a bunch with him, like, hey, fucking yeah. And
you gotta, but like you gotta think, like, you would judge no other competition like you'd judge this. Like, this is how fucking witch trials were judged. It's just like, do you like this? Do you like the look of this person? No, fuck no, burn them.
Does he wear more less than a goose? Let's see. You know, does what else floats on water? A goose. You know, it's right up there. People listen to this and going, what is wrong with you people that would do something like that to yourselves in front of a bunch of English strangers? Fuck
that. Yeah, I would watch you all go off like one at a time. I remember, Tom, and you might have been in one of these batches. Like, you know, lads would go over from Dublin like 5 at a time. And they'd go over, like, I'd imagine it would be a good trip. You go on the piss and all this kind of thing. And not that I was ever fucking asked, but I always said to myself, I would never fucking go over there. You'd be watching these lads going over to do the fucking frog and bucket, knowing rightly that once they heard the Irish accent, they were going to get fucking gonged off in 2 seconds. It was like watching Irish lads sign up to go fight in World War One. This is not your war, lads. You're going to get
coming back with puppies. Well, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
You don't need to go over here, lads. You're just literally cannon fodder. You're here just to waste bullets. Is all you're doing here, lads.
It's awful. I think I did an open spot at one of the Jongleurs gigs, and the girl who owned it afterwards, I came off stage, like, you were a little bit mucky tonight. You know, you kind of a little bit, material was quite dirty. And I was like, there's a man on a stag do in the middle of that audience dressed as an inflatable penis. And I'm your problem.
Yeah.
Like,
and you took his money, so.
Yeah. Now give me some of it, you fucking bitch. Like, there's I've had so many. I love talking about the deaths more than I love talking about the
everybody does.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We wouldn't take you on to hear about your best gig ever. We don't need to hear that shit.
Yeah. It was our top thing that people used to talk about when you did in the other season. We did 4 seasons of it, where we were able to root out these bizarre ones, and then the fear was that you were just going to get one sounded like another, or just the most obscure ones. But as Jerry just went, we can't let this go away. We need to talk to other people that have had, like we had,
that's
you know, we've had.
That's why we went to you for the hot tag, Mickey.
Yeah.
All
right, Mickey, thank you fucking so much for letting you know that when it comes to shit comedy gigs, it's not just us, pal.
Thanks for having me on, lads. Hopefully we'll get a pint when it's all over.
Yes, we will. But before you go anywhere, you have sold out. Never mind shit gigs. You've already sold out your first Ulster Hall show, and you have another one. Is it the following night?
Yeah, I've got a third one, so I've sold out 2.
See what all those gong shows will do for you, Mick.
I like you, Mickey, but I didn't need to hear that.
Man, I'm only, to be honest, I'm not even doing the show. I'm just going to take the money, go to Snow Patrol guy's house and be like, I fucking told you.
Walking up like Conor McGregor with your chest tattooed.
You know that joke of the guy who kicks the talking snail down the back of the garden?
Yeah.
People like, who the fuck are you? I'm like, you know who the fuck I am.
No, I genuinely don't. Honestly, I don't.
I pissed in the bath here, but
what date is the only available date? So
10th of September.
10th of September, Ulster Hall.
And where can people get tickets for that, Mickey?
If you go to shine.net or even just the Ulster Hall web, just type it into Google. It'll be the first thing that comes up. And then let's party.
Let's party is right. Micky Bartlett, once again, thanks so much for coming on board, brother.
Cheers, boys. I'll see you soon.
He didn't let us down. Good on Mickey,
didn't let us down. I tell you, Tom, doesn't it make you want to get back on the stage again? Perversely, doesn't it?
It does. There's a sickness in all of us. In all of us. And I tell you, Mickey, he personifies that.
Well, listen, how about that, Tom? Let's keep it moving for all our listeners here. We hope you all enjoyed that. I can't see how you wouldn't, to be honest with you. And it's only more of it that's coming along. We've got another episode of the Tom and Jerry Show regular coming out on Monday, and another bonus episode after that. I don't know what to tell you. It's going to be all great. The best way to keep track of all this goodness that we're pumping out here is to follow us on Twitter at Tom and Jerry Show or on Instagram. The address is similar to that, I'm certain.
It's pretty much the exact same as that. Christ almighty.
It'll get you.
If you haven't hit subscribe, you're listening somewhere. So hit subscribe to this. Also, just to double back on that, Mickey has one more date left. The rotten bastard that I'm jealous of, that he's already sold out 2 nights at the Ulster Hall. He has one more. So, Micky Bartlett at the Ulster Hall. Get your tickets. You know it's going to be a good time. As far as us, you know we're pumping out the good stuff. Subscribe on all the usual platforms. If you do want to leave us a comment, do please. I think you can do it on a few more than just the Apple Podcast now, Jer. Apparently you can. If you can't, just screen grab while listening to us. Write us a nice note, which some people have been writing some banging notes, and there's a few going into
absolutely brilliant, Tom.
There's a few going into the hat, Jer.
And hey, try to do it old school. Just like, get up on a chair, open the Velux window in the kitchen and roar it out the roof. I love the Tom and Jerry Show. We count those. We count those as listens, Tom.
Exactly.
Other than that, follow Mickey on all his social media outlets. We're gonna give you links in the Twitter and all that to follow Mickey. And if there's anybody that you would like to hear on my worst gig ever, let us know. We almost certainly can't get them, but God damn it, we'll give it a try.
All right, Jer.
Tom,
tell them when they'll see us again.
I don't know when they're going to see us, Tom, but they can hear us on Monday. I don't want none of you seeing me. I'm a state. I haven't had a haircut in 6 months. Don't look at me. I'm gross.
Don't look at either one of us. We've morphed into fucking horror.
But listen to us all you want. Get you on Monday on the Tom and Jerry Show.
Good luck.